Welcome to Invited Back. I'm Sabbath Kapahu, and we are in a deep dive mini-series based on the sessions at Stimulate Summit. Today, we are talking about unmasking the mother-in-law dynamic. I had a chance to interview a dear friend of mine, a mentor, someone who has been journeying with me since before I was married and has seen me through every season of life. And she mentors women and wives all across the world, and she is in a new season herself as a mother-in-law. And so I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Lori Higashi about what it's like to reimagine and reinvent herself and this space that she's found herself in as a mother-in-law. We talked about the hard work and intentionality required to learn new roles together. There's a real effort that it takes from both parties to build bridges between two families, combine years of traditions that can be very different or even opposing in some instances, and bringing all of that together to form a brand new family. As we talked through the session, one thing that really stuck out to me that she said was she's never been in this role before, and so she's having to figure it out as she goes. Now, I don't know about you who are listening or watching, but I have been married for 11 years, will be 12 years next month, which is crazy. And when I first got married, I had the amazing opportunity to have more than one mother-in-law. I have two, and they are amazing. But I never thought, from my own perspective as a wife, that they had a brand new person in their life to get to know and a brand new relationship that they had never had before in me as a daughter-in-law. Now, we just kind of expect them to know what to do. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you were really good at building that bridge between your family and your new family. Maybe you were really clear at communicating with them. But I think for the majority of us, and what Lori was saying in the session, is that where she's at now, and as she talks with her friends who have journeyed with her through similar life stages, is that they really had no clue. They're kind of all in the same boat together saying, what do we do? We have been mothers for years, decades, and we've been with our children, and especially if they have sons, we've been raising this son, and now there's someone new, and I want to do it right, but I don't know how. And so it was a really eye-opening experience for me, even personally, to listen to Lori talk and hear her say that we're all learning together, and she had to relearn how to build relationships with this whole new level of emotion involved, with a whole new level of figuring out someone else's even conflict resolution styles. How does this person communicate? How does this person receive love? Where are the healthy boundary lines that need to be drawn with a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law relationship? And what a gift it was to hear her talk about that. She said that there's going to be hurt feelings, and she walked us through her experience of what she did when she got her feelings hurt. Now, when is the last time you heard from a mother-in-law openly say, yeah, you know what, I didn't really like it when my son confronted me, but it's a necessary part of being a mother-in-law. And so she had to figure out, how do I handle this? We talked about conflict resolution, and we talked about different skills that she has learned to implement, and not just in this relationship with her new daughter-in-law, but skills that can be implemented in our marriages, in our workplaces, in our teams, that if there's something that we need to resolve, but we are not at an emotional place to do that, we're like doing everything we can just to keep from crying, which is a really big reality, especially when we're dealing with wives and mother-in-laws and women. It really depends on a whole bunch of different variables, whether or not we're going to be able to keep ourselves together. So what if we could just pause in that moment and say, you know what? Let's give ourselves this amount, X amount of time, whatever you feel like is appropriate. You could say 5 minutes, you could say 10 minutes, you could say, let's circle back to this tomorrow when I think that we'll be able to talk about it in a more healthy space. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law dynamic that we talked about with Lori is all about pausing, taking deep breaths, and remembering how to communicate and build relationships. Remembering that she is not me, I am not her. We are two totally separate women, and that is how it should be. And it's going to work out. It might take some hurdles jumped over. There's going to be conflict, but if we can say that we made it through that, we're going to be so much stronger on the other side. She wrapped up the session with a word of encouragement for mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, and I loved it. She said, look for the good that is already there, and remember that, and build memories off that, so that when things get hard, we can go back to the good things and say, this was worth it. It was so worth it to build memories and to build good foundations, because things are going to get hard. So whatever is already good about the relationships that has been established between your mother-in-law and your husband, draw from those things and build the foundation of your relationship based on what you see that's already there. And then you grow and you move forward. And it was such a good reminder that there will be trial and error, that there will be hurt feelings that need forgiveness, and there will be mistakes that need grace. We are human after all. But if we choose to be intentional and really work towards getting to know each other, inviting each other in to the things that are happening in our daily lives. We might think that our mother-in-law, she doesn't care about this, or she has no idea what I'm going through, but in reality, there's a level of expertise that a mother has in her children that we might forget to tap into sometimes. She probably knows exactly how he's going to react to a certain situation. So we really aren't alone. And Lori reminded us that it's so important to invite each other in, to ask questions, and to build that strong foundation, because it's going to last for generations to come. Now, I know that there is a reality that there are so many different types and personalities and levels and layers to the relationships, that we have between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. And inside the Stimulate Summit sessions, there's space to ask questions and to dissect the fact that maybe the scenarios that we just talked about are absolutely not applicable to your relationship. There's space to talk about that, and we want to continue this conversation. So as we move forward, we'll take your questions and we'll answer them together, and we'll talk about resources and what it looks like to journey together, because that's really what it's all about, this journey that we're on. This is not the end once you get married, once you have a mother-in-law or a mother-in-law figure in your life. It's just the beginning. And each new opportunity, each new conflict, each new holiday is a chance to grow and learn and communicate and build a stronger bond. So join us for these conversations as we dig deep into Stimulate Summit content. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, Invited Back, and leave a comment below. We want to hear what you're thinking as you process through these things with us. Until next time, aloha.